I very much wanted to get this video out to you. I don't have a political horse in this race. I'm not saying I like a candidate or don't. I just don't talk politics. But I am telling you that some of the implied policies that are going to be rolled out will be inflationary. And I'll tell you exactly which ones, even some of them I agree with. I'll tell you which ones are going to be inflationary and why, and how it's going to affect you. And check out this email that just came in this morning. It's Emmanuel from Italy. We had a great day today, 300% gain. And this is just an example, and you're very welcome. Thank you for saying all these kind words. It's very wonderful to see a stock do what I expected it to do, and it did it in an instant. And that's why I love all these stocks that are trading at lower prices. Newer companies just getting started. They're just having a proof of concept they're rolling out. They're getting their financials in order. And then their stock is trading at a low price. They're undiscovered. Still, nobody really yet understands the value of the company. And then as that company grows and it expands its market share, it expands its market footprint, the financial numbers start coming in, they get their costs down, and then that company suddenly is very profitable, and the stock price very often follows suit of the operations of the company. The operations are doing better and better, the stock price will do better and better. If you invest at the right time when it's early and that company grows while you own it, it's just free money. You just got to find the stock in the first place, be good at doing that over and over. You'll have some misses, you'll have some wins, but the wins pay off dramatically, especially if you use stop losses to make sure that your losses never go more than about 10 or 15%. Your gains will be a lot more than 10 or 15%. I put in the special report to my newsletter subscribers. I was talking about how a lot of these policies are going to be very inflationary. I even agree with more than half of the policies for some of these things. So I'm not against it or for it. I'm just completely apolitical. I'm going to tell you, though, the policies as they're explained that they're going to be played out. If that happens, what will happen? And it means usually some inflation. And I'll tell you all the different ways in this video, especially when you clear out a lot of the illegal workers. And then they're also going to have a lot stricter border controls, which I absolutely agree with. Some of the policies that I think are going to be inflationary, for example, are the ICE crackdown on illegal workers. And I say here as well, enhanced and what I'll call as proper border security. That will be inflationary because both of that and the ICE crackdown, they're going to limit the amount of cheap, under-the-table labor, causing businesses to see either higher labor costs or a reduction in productivity, or sometimes both. Now, interest rate reductions will be very inflationary, and they would have happened no matter who the president was. If it was Kamala Harris or if it was President Trump, the interest rates are coming down, and it will be very inflationary. And when they come down, it gives a short-term stimulative effect to the economy, temporary, short-term beneficial effect. That's very inflationary. I also went on to talk about how the retaliatory tariffs are starting to emerge because we can say you'll put a 25% tariff on Canada, Mexico, China, etc., and then they don't do nothing. They respond to that. And an example of that was the other day that NVIDIA dropped significantly because China says, you know what, we'll start looking into NVIDIA for antitrust and monopoly issues. And so they're starting to dig around in NVIDIA because it's a political weapon. They know that there's no there, but they're still going to do that because they're mad about the tariffs. There's going to be a tit for tat back and forth. It's only going to get very extreme. We've only had one or two punches so far. We've given out a lot. There's going to be a lot more punches to be thrown in this fight before it's over. And I also say that another inflationary force will be the tariffs themselves, not just the retaliatory tariffs that are a counterpunch, but the actual tariffs themselves are very inflationary. It's simply a tax that you pay. You want to buy maple syrup in San Diego, which originated in Canada. That's what I used in my example here. I said that it'll cost you 25% more, for example. The tariff simply punishes the consumer if they buy any product from any tariffed country. You will be paying more for things. And we don't make anything in America so that it's not going to fill the void. You don't go, so I can't buy from China. Now I'll buy from Idaho. You can't buy from China. The end. Or you buy from China and pay more. You're just paying a greater tax. That's very inflationary. But I go on to talk about how you can see it playing out in precious metals. Always think of gold as never changing price, having no value. Gold is gold is gold. And one time it only took $35 to buy an ounce of gold. And now, to buy the exact same amount of the exact same product, 1 ounce of gold, it's $2,650 or so. In other words, as the US dollar continues to deteriorate, as it will always do, as it's done for over 100 years in a consistent, ongoing acceleration, as it continues to deteriorate, the value, comparably, of things like money, such as gold or silver, those products, those commodities will increase in value. It will take more dollars to buy the same thing. Gold's gone up $1,000 an ounce since I started talking about it. But really what happened was that since I started talking about it, it never changed at all. And it just takes a lot of more watered down dollars to buy it. People say, wow, gold price has really increased. And you can say, wow, the power of the US dollar completely decreased. And every other currency all over the world, every currency in the entire earth has seen recently a high in price for the value of gold in their local currency. Double-digit inflation will get here, maybe around the time that we see double-digit unemployment, which might be around the same time that the world's slowest approaching recession finally graces us with its presence. The American investing populace is in the middle of a major phase of elation. Everything is priced for perfection. Everyone seems to be oblivious to the numerous uncertainties right now. Greed is swallowing fear. And this is all happening right at a time when there are more unknowns than ever in recent history. There's military conflicts, there's uprisings, there's record debt levels, record defaults, an inbound recession, unique political tides. And I say unique political tides because no one really knows how this is all going to play out, what the results are going to be. You can have your opinion, and some of it will be good, some of it will be bad. That's just about how anything goes. But no one really knows because a lot of the policies are very different than we're used to, which might be a good thing, but we're going to find out together. There's also a tariff war, and quite possibly we're on the edge of an extreme scale event of World War III. You don't know how that's going to go, but if it does, I guess there's no point in even talking about it. So what I'm saying at the end of this article is that I suggest that you sit back and wait right now, take a breath, let things play out. You're basically going to get on a waterbed and somebody just jumped on it and the waterbed is flopping all over the place. Let it settle down for a bit. That will take 3 weeks. Wait till late January, early February before you worry about stuff. Unless you're looking to get into a tax loss selling bargain. A lot of low price stocks, if they've done poorly, people will sell those shares, take the loss so they pay less tax. Then prices of stocks that they've come down already, they might come down a little bit more till the end of the year. Pick up a few tax loss selling bargains. That's always a great strategy each year. But besides that, I would sit back and wait and just take your time and observe things. See how it plays out because no one knows. So you don't want to commit to putting yourself that you're expecting one thing to happen. Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, but it's just not a time. There's too much commotion, too much volatility. In my opinion, for me, you do what you want to do. What I would do and what I'm doing is taking a step back, taking a breath, and just sort of trying to get my feet back under me, decide where we are, because there's never been a time like this ever, not even close, that there's so much going on, so many moving parts. Chaos theory says that there's something going to happen that none of us expect that we can't even comprehend. We got to react to that, be ready for that. But also I said, it's kind of like sell in May and go away. We're saying sell in December and go away. Take a rest, learn a new hobby, spend time with your people. Then just come back in early February. Precious metals have been rising strongly, but for very different reasons than the other asset classes I mentioned. You'll see that the deterioration of the dollar is permanent, which is why gold and silver's price strength will remain. And if you want to talk to me directly, get in touch, ask me anything, you're curious about a stock you're thinking about buying or selling, you might want to run it by me first before you make the jump or make the action, because I know a lot of stuff. I'm willing to help share that with you. And the way you can get in contact with me and have enhanced answers from me is by becoming a Peter Leeds Insider. peterleeds.com/insiders. To clarify, which that is not the same as the Peter Leeds newsletter. That's the thing that costs $199 a year. And it comes with the Peter Leeds app and all the stock picks and my personal portfolio and everything, all that good stuff.
Problems, gotta solve them. They keep talking, I don't know them. I don't need that, don't owe them. I just make connection like a modem. Let me turn up, let me show them. Let me burn up, here, let's go then. Got tunes in the Mac, let me load them. You don't know the answer, it's a no then.